All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got game number 2 of the Western Conference Finals. OKC taking on Minnesota. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this game. I'll give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about other plays like player props that we like in the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If you do want to fade me, if that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. In terms of yesterday, I'll admit, kind of a lame day. We only had a half unit for a pretty juiced same game parlay, but I dug and dug for some plays in that game and ultimately kind of liked alternate lines. So we had Siakam for 15 plus, Jalen for 20 plus, and then Josh Hart for 6 plus rebounds. We posted it over on my Instagram at EvPicks. Make sure to follow me there for these types of same game parlays and whatnot. We also post this with the final plays. You guys have access to it. But that was the only thing we rolled with yesterday. Considered the over, which would have been nice because this game went to overtime. But yeah, that's all we had in terms of juice on the game. But what a good game that was, huh? Halliburton, this Pacers team, holy crap. Starting to think that they might just be like a team of destiny because when the ball needs to go in, it freaking goes in for that Pacers squad. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that series. I think it's going to be a really good one, but we got this series to talk about here on our hands. OKC taking on Minnesota. Thunder win by a big margin, 114-88 in game number 1. We had the over in that one. That didn't come through, but we also faded Anthony Edwards and had his under 26.5 points, and the comments went ballistic saying I was an idiot. Not the best game from him, even injury aside, not the best game. I think he shot like 36% or 38% from the field, right? Spoiler alert, we're not fading Anthony Edwards now with a line at 24.5, but let's talk about this game. There's nothing that I really saw in that first game to say that Minnesota should be able to cover this 7.5 in the full game. As that game went on and on and on, the Thunder adapted, learned, and just started to absolutely pull away. What I can give Minnesota credit for is the idea of them being able to probably start hot, maybe keep it close in the first half-ish. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess to that degree, I could consider Minnesota keeping it close. But if I had to make a play on the full game here, I think I'm still looking at this Thunder team -7.5, and that's if we were to have to roll with something. These spreads, these totals are absolutely scrutinized. They're tough to beat in the playoff, guys. It's good to note that and to just keep that in mind because of the fact. But I will say 3 of the last 4 meetings on the road in OKC, Minnesota, +3.5 in the first quarter. They've covered that one. That could be something that we roll with. Maybe we're just talking like quarter unit plays here. First half, I think that line was, I want to say it was like 4.5 or something. So I think that could be a nice little spot in Minnesota first quarter. But full game, I can't deny that OKC just looks like the better team. And they look like as the game went on, which is the sign of a good team, by the way. As the game went on, they just look better and better, both offensively and defensively. When it comes to a total, and I guess we'll go through this one pretty quickly because that's our side pick, the Thunder, but earlier in the game, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves actually do have somewhat of a chance to keep it close. First quarter, +3.5, maybe for a quarter unit. Who knows? It could be stupid, could be genius. Isn't that just betting, right? But let's talk about the total here. So I had the over in game number 1, right? Didn't even come close. That was Minnesota's, what I would like to think was Minnesota's bad game. 35% from the field, 29% from 3. OKC shot 50 and 52. They lit it up from 3, which I don't know will happen again because this Minnesota defense is good on the perimeter. Like, we can give them credit there. They're not a defense like OKC, but I do expect OKC to kind of come back down to maybe 50 and 45. So their point total should stick right around 114. Maybe they score like 111 tonight, right? But Minnesota, I would think, gets into the triple digits here. Like, they're not going to shoot 29% from 3 again, or they at least hope they don't, especially because then they might start packing their bags. And then from the floor, forget threes. They shot 35%, 29 of 83 from the floor. And I think they missed like 7 foul shots as well. So I expect Minnesota at least have a better offensive performance, even if OKC's defense is still very good. A really good defense doesn't cause you to shoot 35%. You're missing shots as well. And if we watch that game, a lot of spot ups, a lot of plays that, probably usually result in Minnesota buckets. They just missed some shots. So that's not taking away from OKC's defense, but I hope you guys get what I mean. It's like, this team legit just like missed. Like Rudy Gobert even missed a couple bunnies. We saw Jaden McDaniels, I think, miss like 2 or 3 threes that were pretty open. Dante DiVincenzo didn't have a good game. It was Julius Randle and who, right, in terms of, scoring. So Anthony Edwards, you'd think, would be there, but he only had 18 points. So I do think that this one has another chance of going over. The one thing that I'll say is Minnesota, they know they want to slow the Thunder down and all of that, but I would say after game number 1, like, do they really want to? Because it seems like Minnesota's best chance is to get as many possessions as possible to keep up with this Thunder team, because the Thunder will convert their half-court possessions superbly, and Minnesota won't. So I do think even though Minnesota might want to play slow from the numbers aspect, right? You don't want to run in transition with OKC. I think that might be a mistake, because the more transition opportunities they have, they're probably getting better looks in transition than they are in the half court. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm going to lean towards the over in this spot as well. Now, before we do dive into a couple player props that I'm liking, I want to talk to you guys about Sleeper, because we talked about it. Anthony Edwards, right? He needs to bounce back. Well, even if he doesn't bounce back today, we can still cash this 0.5 points line over on Sleeper, guys. That link is going to be down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. New customers are going to get this square as well as 100% of their first deposit matched up to $100. You give them 100, they'll give you a free 100. You give them 50, free 50. You can do the math there. Double up your money today. Again, that link will be down in the description as well as the pinned comment. They also have a bunch of other promos that are flying out there on their app, guys. WNBA, esports, hockey, MLB, NBA, all these things are in full swing right now, and they are dropping promos like no other. If you haven't checked it out yet and it's available where you live, you got to do it. You're going to regret it if you don't. Take advantage of these opportunities. Those links will be down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. Sleeper, check them out. I mean, we've been rocking with Sleeper for a couple years now, but let's talk about player prop number 1. And this might be chalked in terms of, everyone's going to be on it and whatnot, but I don't mind the idea of Jay Randall here. In terms of his, in the playoffs so far, he's been absolutely crushing it. 24.3 points per game. His line is at 19.5 right now, and it's for damn near even money. So I think this could be a spot in which we consider Randall plus 102 over on ProfitX. So that might be something that we consider. My concern is he did go off in that game number 1, right? 28 points. I think he made like 5 of his 6 threes. I don't think he does that again. But it kind of seems like the Thunder might be saying, you know what? Do your thing, Randall. Like, we're going to focus on stopping Ant. And if Julius Randle's going to be the guy that keeps this game close, that probably bodes well for this Thunder team, because he's not going to run in transition. He'll wear himself out and then be able to be targeted on defense. You know what I mean? So there's a chance that this Thunder team is kind of saying Olay to Julius Randle and say, hey, go get your 20. You know what I mean? And again, we're not talking about Julius Randle needing to go out there and go off and score 31, 29, or 28 like his last 3 games. If he gets to 20 points, the over 19.5 year cash is for plus money. So I think that could be just enough of a sprinkle, right? Another maybe quarter unit play. And you could tell by the way that I'm talking about these with quarter units and whatnot. Kind of dicey, having a hard time really having some conviction behind some of these. And I would like to tell you guys that and be transparent versus acting like I'm so confident in the Timberwolves first quarter or so confident in Julius Randle that you guys want to ride with it. And I'm like, hey, I wasn't that confident. You know what I mean? Kind of pulling the rug. Don't want to do that. So yeah, Julius Randle, another spot in which I think we could kind of sprinkle, especially because I think we're getting good value at plus 102. I mean, it's minus 104 over on FanDuel, which is obviously more common of a book. So if you have that, I still think that's worth a little bit of a sprinkle. But I think he'll be able to go get his, in terms of how he scores, it's not exactly the prototypical or best defense he could be going against. He likes to score in isolation. Likes to score, I guess, in isolation, but at the rim. The Thunder are fantastic at defending isolation and the rim. But Julius Randle clearly is going to get a few open looks from 3, and maybe the dude is feeling it, right? We look at his last few games. Like I said, 5 of 6 from 3. Then he had, I think, 3 of 6 from 3 in that game against the Warriors. 4 threes before that. Just 1 there and then 1. So, I mean, the last 3 games in which he's gone 31, 29, 28, he's kind of gone off. So that could be a potential spot as well. On the other side of things, I liked what I saw out of Hartenstein. I don't know if this is a points play or a rebounds play, but he was getting left. Rudy Gobert, when Shea or someone else was kind of getting to the hoop, it was like all eyes turned away from Hartenstein, who, I'd want more. I think he played 20 minutes. I'd want more minutes, but if we can get his points at 7.5, damn, I think that could be a look as well. Again, every time guys drove, it's like he was just standing there in the paint like, Okay, like what do I do with this ball? I'll try and score it, right? Now he shot the ball, I think, 8 times, made 6 of them, and had 12 points in game 1. It's a little dicey, right? Because he's not going to have the usage. There's way more guys on this Thunder team that will touch the ball. He's not going to have the minutes, especially with Chet back. Like, it could get a little dicey, but I can't sit here and tell you guys that I'm not thinking about Isaiah Hartenstein over 7.5 points. He's done it in 9 straight games. The only game he didn't do it in recently was, I think, game 3 against Memphis. You know what I mean? Like, it's so... yeah, kind of like that spot for him. So we'll see if we end up rolling with that. Like I said, follow me on Instagram at EvPicks, EVPICKZ. That was a tough one, but spelling bee champ, we take the win there. We might be posting the same game parlay for this one. It'll also be included with the final plays and all of that. But guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Really do appreciate you rocking with me today, spending some time with me. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.